Hi, this is Luman in Luman's blah blah blah. I firmly suggest you learning how to use Kk phonetic symbols. The reasons: first, it is very convenient because in almost all the books concerning English learning, we can see them, right? And if you know how to use them, then you can know how to pronounce a word correctly in half a second. And if you don't know how to use them, then you will need either a person, a learning partner to ask, or a cell phone, right? And so the second reason is that if you don't know how to use Kk phonetic symbols, then you will have to keep a cell phone beside you whenever you study English. And then we all know that, right? And it is very, very distracting and inconvenient. It is almost impossible for smart people to turn on the cell phone only to check how to pronounce a word, right? It's very, very distracting. And the third is that if you know how to use Kk phonetic symbols, you can write down or take a note of how to pronounce a word. For example, take myself, for example. I'm an English teacher, and once in a while some students ask me how to pronounce a word, right? After I tell them, the students who know how to use Kk phonetic symbols, they will write the Kk phonetic symbols down on the paper immediately, right? And for those who don't know how to use Kk phonetic symbols, they just recite a word maybe once or twice or 3 times with me. And I know for sure that a few days later or a few weeks later, they'll forget it, right? And the fourth, that when we are learning the Kk phonetic symbols, we are actually learning how to pronounce English language. If you don't know how to pronounce each Kk phonetic symbol correctly or beautifully, it is impossible for you to pronounce English language beautifully or correctly, right? And the fifth is that it is very easy to learn. It's easy, right? Comparing to be able to use English, I think it is maybe 100 million times as easy as English language. And the people who ask me if they need to learn the Kk phonetic symbols are 100% the people who want to learn English, right? And if you feel that Kk phonetic symbols is hard for you, then I wonder when you will adapt this language, right? And by the way, after we learn these Kk phonetic symbols, we will have countless chances or times to review or to remind ourselves of them, right? If you study hard enough, because we will use them pretty often, right? And during this process, you will forget 1 or 2 of them. Then you just check it again, you review it, you remind yourself of that, you do some recalling, and then I think if you study hard enough, maybe within a month, you will never forget how to use Kk phonetic symbols, right? It is planted in here, right? And then once in a while I hear some people talking about the truth that they foreigners, they don't use Kk phonetic symbols, so of course we don't need to learn them. I think, in my opinion, I don't think so, because I think they are native speakers, we aren't, right? So the stuff they don't need, maybe the stuff that is necessary to us, okay? For example, it's just like a person who wants to learn to swim and he or she doesn't want to raise their heads above the water to inhale some air, right? Because they say that fish don't do that. Fish don't do that, so we don't raise our heads above the water to breathe in some air. That would be ridiculous, right? Because they are fish. We are not. We are human beings. We don't have that ability to have a good time naturally in water, right? So learn how to use Kk phonetic symbols. That is my suggestion. Luman's blah blah blah. See you next time. Bye.